Hi, today on Breaking Formation, we're going to talk about when the kid becomes the parent. We're going to talk and explore kind of parentification, talk a little bit about parents' mental illness or substance use, or just when parents and kids, their values don't align.
So in your experience, when you dealt with children, sometimes you'll see a child because the parents are like, hey, Johnny is doing X, Y, and Z, and he's having all these issues. And as you deal with the child and you talk to them, you're like, oh, Johnny's not the problem. What happens in this case? Like, I'm so fascinated. Do you have any experiences on that?
I think like a lot of my case experiences, I think a lot of, yes, there is a lot of case experience. I think, some of my history was working in child protective services. So the clients that came, they were there because of choices their parents made, whether it was drugs, alcohol, domestic violence, or, worst case scenario, sexual abuse or something of that nature. So, yes, a lot of times that parent is the problem, where the kid is just trying to survive and make it through, and trying to get through. Or there's the lesser degree where the parent maybe has depression or anxiety or an eating disorder or a substance abuse issue, and the kid is clearly just trying to get through without losing him or herself.
So what do you do in that situation when you see that, or you're dealing with the kid, but you know the parents could potentially be the bigger problem? What do you say to the child, or how do you get them through to understand it's not them?
So great questions. I think about, again, just therapy. If we're talking about the therapeutic relationship,
Yes.
it is just that. It is the relationship between therapist and client. And so really, first and foremost, is creating safety for that child in that therapeutic relationship. So there is, we've talked before about attachment, safety and security in that attachment relationship or attached relationship. So building that first and foremost, and then going through all the things we've really talked about in the previous episodes about helping the kiddo navigate what their values are, maybe aside from their family, what their beliefs are, aside from their family, how to set some boundaries, how to not push back, so really help the kiddo just identify what's true for them, because it can go in all different extremes. The kiddo can just become like your friend that goes in the hole that you talked about last episode. That could be part of the response. Mom's raging because she's had 3 bottles of wine, and the kid just gets quiet and hides in the room. Or that other kiddo just pushes back and then runs down the street and steals the car and starts using drugs himself. So kind of helping the kiddo learn, I know, look at your face, learning the kid, what is their value system? How are they going to cope in a healthy way through all of this external stress? Mind blown. I see it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a lot for a young person to deal with if their parent is off the rails. Um, is there a point where you tell them it's not their fault?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think, this is that got to make this notice, if there is any safety concerns. Of course, as a therapist, I am a mandated reporter, so
Yes.
have to make those phone calls if it warrants concern about what exactly is happening in the household. We definitely have to at least make the report to child welfare so they can make the determination if that kiddo is safe or not safe. But yeah, in really helping the kiddo understand that it is not their fault. This is just what's happening. These are just the circumstances.
And for parents that once they're told that, hey, it's not the kid, it's perhaps the environment or what you're exposing them to, how do they typically take that news?
Well, again, it depends. Is the parent there because they're court ordered and they have to hear that, and are willing and open. Some parents are. Some parents are willing and open and receptive of the information and the feedback. Some parents will pull their kid out of therapy because they don't want to hear that. So I think it goes through it goes through the whole different levels. But the thing for me, again, for creating space for my client is just making sure they have a safe place to come and talk. And it may just end up being, the 50 minutes that kiddo is just venting about, mom doing this or mom doing that.
Is there any correlation to the child or the adolescent taking over responsibilities for the parent or trying to become the parent per se? How does that affect them later on in their adulthood?
Yeah, we see this in just normal households too, not necessarily families with mental health issues.
Right.
Is that fancy word parentification, right? And so a lot of times it may be in a single parent household where there's a couple of siblings and the oldest child feels like they have to take on that responsibility to help mom out. We talked, I think, in one of our early episodes about attachment, and the different type of attachment styles. And so it really kind of falls in that category in terms of what role that kiddo can step into. Are they, so kind of a side note, one of the things that my mom, she was a single mom. She owned her own business, very busy, very, very busy lady. She liked her wine. And so some nights it was on me as the older kid to get my brother, together into bed, not necessarily into bed, but get his homework done, all of those things. There were times where I had to help out, like writing in the checkbook and, doing things like that. So, so we do those things for our survival. And some of the things that we learn and adapt to as kiddos is because of what we need to do to survive.
Yeah, single. I didn't have brothers or sisters. I'm an only child.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
I'm waiting for the rest. Like, oh, I figured that out. No, so most people say that.
No. You seem like you would have siblings.
No, but single parent household as well. So
it's a different experience, right? Like
it is. Your mom liked her wine. My mom liked her rum and coke.
Yes.
Yes.
I understand.
Not all the time, but as an adult now, I'm going, that was an interesting time. I probably pushed her to one or two of those.
You think?
I was such a good child.
Put a pin in that one.
Put a pin in that.
We're coming back to
that, really? Oh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of rules right now in terms of confidentiality. Minors hold their own confidentiality.
Really?
Yeah. So as teens, as they become teenagers, they can actually call a therapist up and ask to come in to see a therapist on their own without even their parent knowledge. In the doctor's office. Well, how old are your kids?
Soon to be 13 and 11.
So it's such a trip. At age 13, when you go in to log in to see your kiddos' test results, and it's not there anymore. And so it's such a weird feeling. Same thing with therapy. Is as parents, the kids hold their own confidentiality. And so it is a very, it's a really interesting thing.
I guess I don't feel too bad about it because my son right now at this point we talk about a lot of things.
Right.
He tells me just about everything. And number one, I appreciate that so much. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, because I know I was not that open with my mom at this age. Like, I was definitely on
Yeah.
lockdown. And so, number one, I love that line of communication. Um, but yeah, I would hope he would tell me if he wanted to go see a therapist because we would
Mm-hmm.
make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think I'm grateful for the rules and things now that allow kids to get help if they need help on their own. I think that's great that, I do, of course, always want the parent support. I mean, it's people, humans, we don't heal in isolation. And sometimes it's, the system has to change and the family system has to change for, healing and health to happen. But sometimes it's just, okay, how can I just survive through, this part of it?
I like what you just said. You don't heal in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a U-2 pilot flying alone, I feel a lot of healing happened, but probably didn't. Ross, you would agree with that? Yep. A lot of thinking, but
A lot of thinking, yeah, I
a
can
lot of
imagine.
a lot of thinking,
That was
but
like me on my horse. Like it was just like, you're one in the horse, one in the plane.
we have a lot of similarities.
We do.
Is this why we get along well?
I think so.
So the age of consent. So at 12, is there anything else that we need to know for? Oh, the support systems. What are the support systems out there in terms of two questions? First question, let's tackle this one first. As a child, as someone who is a teenager, you're going through your own hormonal changes. You're going through ups and downs. If you have a parent that you don't know is having a mental health crisis or suffers from mental health, what are some things to look for? I know this is a very, very, I know your eyes just got wide. Just give me two things that they can look for if they see a shift in their parent in a certain way. Is there anything specific that happened?
I mean, the obvious signs, increased irritability, increased anger or rage, more sleeping, crying episodes, alcohol showing up, very odd, erratic behavior, like huge shopping sprees when you may not necessarily have the financial means to go on those shopping sprees, or up 3 nights in a row or 3 days in a row. And, I don't know, some parents do, but, painting the roof at midnight, that's like, those are like all kinds of things to the extremes.
Yes.
So I think it's really hard just to put your finger on one behavior. But I think honestly, the thing that I think would be just the most important for anyone is if it feels uncomfortable, it probably is, and if it doesn't feel like safe, I guess, that's kind of a loaded word, but at the same time, if you feel uncomfortable, then there's probably a reason.
As a young person, if you feel uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
addressing that with your parent would be another
Yeah.
good way to do things, I would think. I think of myself when I was a teenager. Like, I did not get along with my mom at all. Like, there was just this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I shut down a lot as a
Yeah.
teenager. Um, but now I wonder, in hindsight, what was my mom going through? Because she was a little older at the time. And I'm like, man, she probably was going through a whole bunch as a
Mm-hmm.
single parent. She had me later in life. She had me when she was 30, which
Oh,
back
yeah.
then was
Older, yeah.
older. She was probably perimenopausal, maybe menopausal. Yeah, I put her through the ringer.
We gotta hear those stories one day. See, I was so afraid to like lose my horse or access to my horse. I walked a very, very tight line. Like I was just like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Did all the things. Didn't cause a ruckus.
Oh, I wrote in my book my mom wanted to fight me one day.
You what?
I wrote in my book at one point my mom
Oh,
wanted to fight me one day
oh,
because
geez.
Yeah, well, I was 14, and she was trying to spank me, and I was just like blocking. I'm like, no, you're not hitting me.
Oh, yeah.
And we live in the Bronx. She was like, oh, you want to fight? No,
No, I don't want to do that. Jeez. Yeah, no. I was like quiet as a mouse, just tiptoed around.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I did not want to be seen in my household.
So, okay, I didn't mean to ask that. That's a hard question,
Yeah,
but that's
I think anything really is. If it feels uncomfortable, there's probably something to take note of.
so trust your instincts, trust your gut in this.
Right.
Okay. So what are the supports out there if you find that, okay, my mom or dad there's something wrong. There's maybe some substances involved. Maybe there's erratic behavior. What can someone who's 12, 13, 10, what resources can they access?
Well, I think first and foremost, if there's extended family, grandparents, aunt, uncle, that may be a good support that can support you and support the kiddo and maybe addressing the parents. I think that would be the first step. Schools nowadays are very equipped. They have places where you can go and talk to a counselor, school counselor. They even have anonymous like texting lines for support. Kids these days have Al-Anon and Alateen. Those have always been around, but those are available too. What else?
What is Alateen? You said Al-Anon, I know.
Alateen is for teens of families with addictions.
Okay.
There's a lot of resources online, I think, too, that kids can call and support. I guess we probably need to get a couple of them for the call outs or whatever, but we can put those up. But here in Placer County, there is the Health and Human Services line, where kids can call, and get support that way. But yeah, there are resources available. School counselor, would be my second choice to go talk to. And a lot of times teachers, counselors, they know their kids, and so they can see if their kiddos are off too. As a teacher, they'll, that kid may show up with a dirty shirt or messy hair or look like they haven't slept or more hungry than normal. So I think that's a really good thing too, is that there's a lot of eyes and ears out there nowadays.
Okay. Some good nuggets.
Yeah.
If your parents are going off the rails, call them out.
That's right.
Just call them out in a way that's appropriate, because you don't want to be disrespectful, and then you're fighting your mom like I almost did. So we don't.
Or get your horse taken away.
Your horse taken away. This podcast is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to diagnose or treat any illnesses. Please contact a healthcare provider if you see that your parent or yourself is having any issues. Oh, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. Any questions you got? Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.